everyone, it's Julie with Beadaholique. In this video, I want to show you how to really easily taper your odd count peyote ends. So here's a little swatch of peyote bead weaving, and I wanted it to be a focal, and it's actually going to end up being a little bracelet. So I wanted it to have these nice tapered little pointed ends. And that's another reason why I chose to do odd count, was so I would get to a point. So I want to show you how to easily taper your ends. So what I have here is, this was actually my starting point, and I just pulled off my bead stopper and I left an extra long tail. So if you know you're going to be doing something like this at the end, leave a really long tail so you're not struggling with your length of your thread and your needle. So now what I'm going to do is I need to finish this off and bring it to a point. So I am going to take my needle and thread, and I'm going to go through the bead next to where my thread is exiting. And I'm going to go at a diagonal through these 3 beads. So you can see that right there. I'm going to go through those 3 beads. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this cream bead right here. And I'm going to go through these 3 beads on this side as well. If you can't go through all of them at once, go through what you can go through. So I could just go through the 2. And then I'm going to go through the last one. And it's not the edge bead, it's the one from the end. Okay, and now I'm going to go back through this end one. And now my thread is in the direction I want it to be in. So I'm going to pick up 1 more bead with my little purples. Okay, and then just do like I would be normally doing peyote stitch. And pick up another purple. Okay, and another purple. So again, I'm just filling in the gaps like it was normal, regular peyote. Okay, so this is what I've got, and I've actually already now got the start of a taper right here. This is my start of my taper. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to go back through the bead next to it. And again, I'm going to do a diagonal. So I'm going to go through the next 2 beads at a diagonal. I am going to go up through 2 more. Now I'm going to go this way. And it's the same thing I did before. I'm just basically working my thread to the other side. Now I am using a really thin thread. I'm using a 4-pound weight. So because you do multiple thread passes through this end, it doesn't show up if you're using a really thin thread. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go through the bead that's on the end, but I'm also going to go through the bead next to it. So I'm going through the 2 edge beads. Okay, because those are already how I want them. They're my diagonal. They're my, I should say, my taper. Now I'm going to add another bead. And another bead. Okay, so you can see where we're at. We just have 1 more center bead to add. So I'm just going to go the edge again. And the exact same thing. Now, if you are feeling it's getting a little thick on the edge here, if you're using a heavier thread, what you can do is you can go down through this 1 bead right here, or even 2, 1 or 2. You'll see what I'm going to do. Okay, so I went through 2. And instead of going to the very end here, I can just jump over to this bead right here. And I'm going to go through it and the one next to it. So let me actually Probably be easier to see if I just go through the one at a time instead of trying to do 2 steps at once. Okay, so then just go through the bead next to it. And it's going to create a little thread bridge right there, but it's just going to disappear when you pull it in. Okay, now go through the bead right here next to it on the edge, and we're adding our last bead, which is going to be our point. Okay, so there we go. Add that, it's going to lock into place, and we have a very nice little taper. So now all you have to do is you're going to take your thread, you're going to weave it into your beadwork the same way you normally would, and tie it off, tie little knots, weave it in, tie it off, and then you have your tapered end on your odd count peyote.